Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another single song reaction here on my channel. I am so pumped for this. It's been a couple of years since we've gotten new Gangstagrass, or at least since their last full album. And their last album, I believe, is one of their best albums in their catalog. I think it's their best produced, best sounding album, so I'm very excited to listen to this new single. For those of you who are just finding the channel now, if this is your first video here, thank you very much for checking this out. Since this is the first day that I'm back recording since I found out at the beginning of the year that I have leukemia. And so I have been undergoing treatment and stuff, and this is my first day sort of sitting down and recording some videos, and I'm very excited. I just sat down and listened to the new Black Keys song, Beautiful People, and I'm very happy with how that sounded. I'm looking forward to their new album, and I'm assuming that this new Gangstagrass song is leading to a new Gangstagrass album later this year, so I'm very much looking forward to that. And because I've been feeling a little hip-hop-ish lately, I've been playing Saints Row on my PS4. Then they have a really cool old hip-hop station there. I think maybe later today I'm going to react to my very first ever hip-hop album that I'll be doing a reaction to here on the channel. I really know very little about hip-hop, and there's a few things that I like, but old school rap, stuff like that, I don't really know that much about, just things that I've maybe heard through pop culture, and I really like a lot of it. But I'm thinking about listening to my very first ever Tribe Called Quest album later this afternoon. I think I'll just do their first album and see how that goes. So if that sounds interesting to you, feel free to look around on the channel. Hopefully you can find it once I upload it. But I don't have a schedule. Like I said, if you're joining me for the first time, I'm really excited for this. And don't need to talk about it forever, but I have leukemia, and I haven't been filming for the last month and a half or so, and so we'll see how this goes. The Black Keys video went really well. So I just want to talk a little bit about Gangstagrass before we listen to this, just to let everybody know. I have been a big fan of Gangstagrass for a long time. I had to run upstairs and get my Gangstagrass hat that I got. It was actually free. I just had to pay shipping. And I got it through the newsletter that I have been subscribed to, for the email chain or newsletter, I think they just call it, from their website, that I have been subscribed to for many, many years now. And they are one of the coolest bands when it comes to using things like the internet to give extra things back to their fans. I have several versions of their albums, in high quality MP3 instrumental versions, because they gave them away for free as a really cool link through their website or through the newsletter. And I think stuff like that's really awesome. And I once got an email from them saying, hey, do you want a free Gangstagrass hat? All you have to do is pay for shipping. And so I was like, that's awesome. $5 for a hat, I'll take it. I'm not a big hat wearer, as people who are following the channel here know. But I, didn't want to pass up a cool Gangstagrass hat. I also have with me, I didn't bring all my Gangstagrass CDs. I think I have everything that Wrench and Gangstagrass has released on CD, but I show those off in a video here on my channel. I made a video a few years ago, I think 2 years ago now, when they were on America's Got Talent, basically just saying, who is this band, and then going through their catalog and explaining how I feel about each of their albums. There's no music in that video because I wanted to keep it copyright free, because I wanted everyone to see it, and I wanted to get it out right as Gangstagrass was, hitting their popularity on that show. And that video never took off. I think they only has like a couple hundred views or something like that. But which is fine. It doesn't matter. The guys from Gangstagrass saw it. They really enjoyed it, which was really awesome to me. And but I have in that video, if you want to see the different albums of theirs that I have, including all of some other things from Wrench, like Elkhorn Riders, I have a whole bunch of their stuff on CD. I was very, very, very fortunate to see them live once in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I bought as much from them as I could. And Wrench was absolutely amazing. At the time, this was the only vinyl of theirs that they had ever released. And so I got an autographed copy here. You can see it says, Patrick, thanks for rocking with us, Wrench. This is their sort of Gangstagrass and Wrench's solo work together. It's like a double, kind of like a split. But it's really awesome. I'm really happy that I have this. This is one of my more prized vinyl, and it's the only one that I have that is autographed specifically for me. I'm very, very I'm a very shy person, and I would always feel like I'm intruding on someone to ask for an autograph, so I would never do that. But when I was purchasing all of these things, I had to get this, and Wrench was so awesome, and he just didn't even question it. He just asked, "What's your name?" and wrote this down, and so wanted to show this off. I can't see it anyway. But so yeah, I'm a big Gangstagrass fan. As I said, I'm not a big hip hop fan or rap fan, but I mentioned Tribe Called Quest, and one of the reasons I'm interested in them is because Jurassic 5 is an artist that I found through playing the Tony Hawk games, and it's their song "A Day at the Races," and then "What's Golden." I heard those, and I just through playing Tony Hawk for hours and hours and hours on end and hearing those songs, I became interested in them. And then when I was working at a record store for a few years, I bought one of their albums used and absolutely fell in love with it. And so Jurassic 5 to me is like the ultimate in hip hop. And there are a few other groups that I do enjoy, like, for example, more modern stuff would be Mayday, and they have a new album coming out this year. I'm very much looking forward to that. But I find one of the things that I like about hip hop is this sort of collaborative feeling of it, but also I don't necessarily like it when it's just every song features a bunch of different rappers. I like it when it's multiple rappers who sort of feature throughout an album. So rap groups, I guess, is what I'm saying. I don't know anything about modern rap at all. So that's something that here on the channel is like totally like, I don't know anything. No Kanye West, no Kendrick Lamar, like no, I have one Childish Gambino album. I bought his first album because I love Community so much and Donald Glover so much, but I couldn't really get into it. So I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. So if you have suggestions for modern stuff that I could try to listen to, if you've been following the channel, you know about all my Metallica reactions and things like that, feel free to let me know in the comments. Maybe suggest a few things you think I might like. But Gangstagrass has always been one of those things, at least for the last however many decade or so that I've been into them, that it has been kind of a constant. And when I live in rural Nebraska, country music is very popular here. I like bluegrass music. I like old timey music. I like listening to old 45 RPM records. And taking those sort of things, those things that I see in my culture every day, mixing that with a cool hip hop beat, which I've always enjoyed. It sounds kind of silly for me to say, but I've always enjoyed like a cool beat. And having all these things meshed together is just a really cool treat. And I think Wrench is a really amazing producer. And I think that Our Son and Dolio the Truth, who are the two main rappers that are in the group, I think they're fantastic. I know they've done a lot of work with Tones in the past. They've done a lot of collaborations with people. And I know on this specific song we're going to listen to here, which is called The Only Way Out Is Through. This is their brand new single that they just released, I think, a couple days ago. It features Jerry Douglas. And I did not know who Jerry Douglas was. But he is, I believe, a famous bluegrass musician who plays the dobro. And so there's a dobro solo in this song, I believe, somewhere. And he plays that. And so he posted on his Facebook page, and Gangstagrass reposted on theirs, which is how I saw it, that he was very honored to work with Gangstagrass because hip-hop or rap is a genre he's never worked in before. And so that's just really cool. That's what I feel like that's what Wrench and Gangstagrass is all about, taking people and surprising them that this hip-hop bluegrass thing can work. So if you're here to watch this video, you're probably already a fan of Gangstagrass. If you're here for my channel, and this is going to be your first time hearing Gangstagrass, I am super excited for this. Go back and listen to basically any of their other music. But their most recent album, let me see what it's called. I'm just going to be listening to this through No Time for Enemies is their most recent album from 2020. I think it is probably their best album. It's their best, most well-produced album for sure. And it's the album that they released around the same time they were on around the same time they were on America's Got Talent. So I guess that was 2020. So that's 4 years ago, I guess, at this point. But let's not waste any more time. The Only Way Out Is Through. Gangstagrass featuring Jerry Douglas. Let's go. Ooh. Already I'm loving this. Justified vibes. I love that percussion. That's very cool. Let's go.
I know
Wrench doubling his vocals.
If this is the way that it must be done, I'm doing it the best, then trust me, son. Rebel no pauses, taking out your forces with a switchblade and a rusty gun. Doing this forever, you've just begun.
Interesting. Not what I was expecting.
Metaphors, similes, jokes, and puns. Got whole squad of rap cats on the run. Since the only way out is through, not around. Didn't line them up, I'ma knock them down. Look at the way I rock a crowd.
Okay.
Got a big head, I could not be proud. Ace said no bites allowed, so I'm firing shots across the bow. Piece to Mike Jackson, ain't no doubt. Excuse me while I make my way out.
The vocals are very crisp. Both the rapping vocals and Wrench's vocals, very crisp sounding. Almost too much, I feel, mix-wise. I love the big feel, like a brass patch almost. Very Old Westy feeling.
Soon as we open it up and get routed, turning it up and get loud, cause we've been heating it up since we found it. Storming the barn to get down, see how we burning it up a thick cloud. Try to struggle away to get round it, better start stretching the day cause we found this.
Nice. Ooh. Yeah, there we go. I'm thrown off by the slowness of the song. I like it though. I like what's happening. Solo's amazing. Could be a little louder, I think. The song has a cool feel to it. Oh, that wooden sounding thing is so cool. It gives the song its feeling. And that synth, that's so cool. Very big sounding. I love the hey, hey in the back, very cool. Great job, Wrench. Huh, all right, well, there we have it. The Only Way Out is Through. The new single from Gangstagrass. Okay, so it threw me off at first because I was expecting more of like a, more of like a flow to it, but it was a slower thing. It was much more of like a, and that threw me off. I wasn't expecting that. With the dobro, knowing there was a dobro player being featured, I was expecting it to be faster, more bluegrassy, but it was totally the opposite direction. Just big, and that sounded great. I think the vocals were a little hot throughout the song, so a little too loud, in my opinion, compared to the rest of the music. The bass, the bass was the bass and that sort of the pad was, I would say, the correct volume with the vocals. But I feel like the drums and the other acoustic instruments could have come up a little bit, or the vocals could have just been brought down in the mix from a production standpoint. Which, if you are new here, that is what we tend to focus on here on my channel, the production side of things, mix side of things. Very interesting. Like I said, the vocals were very crisp and they're very dry. And generally, I like that. And especially with something like this, you don't need to have all sorts of reverb and delays trying to hide what's happening. One of the key components of bluegrass and Americana music in general is the rawness of it, the connection of the human element to it, and which is the exact opposite of hip-hop music. The human element is almost completely taken away. When you go to a hip-hop show, you don't see any musicians performing. You just see the vocalists performing for the most part. I mean, it depends on, what's happening. But so it's the sort of antithesis of those two things. And having this song have sort of like a minimalistic beat, but with the cool dobro and acoustic guitar and stuff that I think there was acoustic guitar in there that I heard. Maybe there was banjo. that's where the kind of the awesome juxtaposition of these different elements that Gangstagrass brings together. That's where all of that comes from. But yeah, I am not my favorite Gangstagrass song I've ever heard, for sure, for some of the reasons I've already mentioned. But I do like it, and I like the production of it for the most part. Like I said, I think the vocals were a little hot throughout, and they were very crispy, which I'm never going to complain about high frequency being in a song, because nowadays it's just so common to listen to something like the Black Keys album from last year, Dropout Boogie. I can't even listen to it because there's just no high frequencies after like 2000 hertz. It's absolutely insane to me how bad that album sounds, and the decision to not include any of the high frequencies in that album is absolutely crazy to me. So I'm not going to complain about there being an abundance of high frequencies here, but the vocals did feel a little crispy, if that makes sense. So I know that's kind of a nebulous term, but the high frequencies felt a little bit, almost like they could have been taken down a little bit, little de-esser or something almost on there. But I'm not going to complain. I liked the way it sounded overall. If this is the beginning of what we're going to get for a new album, I'm curious. The song was minimalistic in some ways, but also it was obviously fancy, cool dobro solo that I think could have been a little louder. Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. Not my favorite Gangstagrass of all time. I really like the way their last album sounds a lot. No Time for Enemies, if you want to go look that up. But I really do think everything that Wrench has produced has sounded really good. It's just a matter of him over the years, becoming a better producer, better musician, having, I'm assuming, access to better equipment, and better people around him. But it seems like they're in like a really cool place right now. So I'm looking forward to what they do next. So this video doesn't need to be any more than this. We'll just keep it nice and short. For my videos, normally I talk for a long time. I did want to mention, here at the end, I'll just mention that one of the things that comes with my leukemia is that I've lost a lot of weight. I've lost like 50 pounds over the last 2 months. And I can fit into shirts that I wouldn't normally fit into now. And so I went to my storage locker yesterday and got some of my clothes out and went through and looked through them. And this was one of the shirts I found that I hadn't been able to wear before. But I wanted to shout it out because this shirt was designed by a friend of mine who's an amazing graphic designer who does all sorts of very cool artwork. He's just a local artist in Omaha, Nebraska, which that's what this shirt says, I love Omaha, and then it's just the mirror image. But this was something he did for a contest, I believe. Some sort of minimalistic Omaha design contest thing. But his website he goes by Awful Creative. So if you just look up Awful Creative, AWUF, well, however you spell the word awful, awfulcreative.com, and you can just see a lot of his artwork there, and just, you can check him out on Facebook, and I believe he has some of the other socials and stuff on Awful Creative, but go let him know this shirt was cool, or if nothing else, just go check out his website and look at some of his awesome designs. He's done really cool album covers. He does work mostly locally in Omaha, but in Nebraska, but he also has done stuff in Iowa, Minnesota, South North Dakota, I think, throughout the Midwest. So check him out, awfulcreative.com. But for now, I'll end this video. Looking forward to more Gangstagrass later this year. And if I do a whole album reaction, I hope to see you there. Until next time.